We're back again with another Eagle U Instagram Live. And today we are being joined by Dr. Kate Gross, who actually happens to live like an hour from me here in Salina. And there she is. So I'm going to add her in. Hold on one second. Hold on, she's joining. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Doing good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You're
Turn
so
my volume up a little bit.
Can you believe that we're in the same state?
I know. No, that's crazy. I've known Taylor for a long time, and now that Eagle U is going to be coming to Kansas, I guess it's Kansas, right? Louisville. I know that's a suburb
Lawrence. Yeah.
of Lawrence. Yes. So when I heard that Eagle U was going to be in my neighborhood, I was super excited.
I know. I'm so excited.
And I love your shirt today, by the way, too. It's my alma mater.
Thanks. Okay,
Yeah,
so Dr. Kate, first of all, you went to Eagle U yourself, right?
I did. I
Tell us a
went.
little bit about.
Well, I went to Eagle U, but even before that, and this dates me, I went to the precursor of that called boot camp. My parents actually got that for me for my high school graduation gift, and I thought I was in huge trouble. I was pretty much a rule follower, so I was pretty certain I wasn't going to military boot camp, but my parents pulled up and dropped me off at boot camp. And at this point, like I said, a precursor of where you guys are today, boot camp was actually at Walter Haley's house. So I was dropped off at an elderly man's house, and then they left. So a little bit different, but then things evolved, changed, and of course, things have grown so much since that point, even for Eagle U. And the next time I went with my brother, I was in college, he was in high school, and we had a lot of great shared experiences, and I could continue to develop upon the lessons that I learned from Walter Haley and Steve Anderson. And my brother, I could see the change in him too. And it was really an awesome experience to go through with my brother as well.
That is so cool. So do you think that still today you apply what you learned at Eagle U or boot camp all those years ago into your day-to-day life these days?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I feel like I don't know if you guys are still saying this, but I feel like it gave me like a 7-year jump on my career, my
Yeah.
education. I mean, because it's an education of yourself, it's personal development, which I think today we have a lot more tools for that. But back then, and it just wasn't that sort of a thing. And what a gift to give someone that's starting out in their own adult life. And well, now that you're doing it for high school students, early high school students, it's so cool because these gifts, these tools just are building blocks for something really great.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Hmm.
it's just so exciting to see people that have gone through it so many years ago and it still is so influential in their life. So
Yeah.
tell us, what do you do now for those of us that don't know who you are?
I'm a dentist in Salina, Kansas, and I have been for, gosh, I have to always kind of recalibrate. 19 years. I can't believe
Wow.
it's been that long. I have 3 kids. I practiced my husband, actually. We met before dental school even, and we work together in our main practice, and then we have several others that we manage along with my brother. So my brother is the CEO, the chief operating officer, actually, of our practice management company, and so he is also involved in our day-to-day practice management services, and it's great to have a truly family business. I also practiced with my father, who was a Crown Council, one of the Crown Council founding members, and I got to practice with him for 13 years, and he retired in 2013. So when he left, my husband and I added other associate dentists and partner dentists, and then my brother came on as our practice management COO. So it's
That is
been
really cool.
quite an evolution. Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah.
So the reason I asked you on here today is because I've been following your personal Instagram and you have remained so positive and uplifting and engaging through this quarantine time. And it seems like you've like not slowed down or stopped any of your goals, but you've just kind of blown full-fledged ahead. And I want to talk to you about that. So during this time, how do you stay on track at home? What is your routine like?
Um, so I think that's really important because now that we've got coronavirus, it changes everything. It makes that it's so everything's blown off kilter and we don't have a routine. So uh, you know, with all of our clinics shutting down because you can't do remote dentistry, we do emergency, but just very little bit. And so my day is suddenly opened up wide. Now you can take that and you can run with it one way and just sit around and never get dressed and watch Netflix. And of course, there's times when you just want to do that, and I respect that. The other part is, though, we do need a routine. We crave boundaries and sort of stability and agenda. And then also my children, who are 14, 12, and 11, they are here at home with me. So I have to have something for them to do as well. And my blessing is that they're old enough that they can do a lot of these things independently. But I also realize that, you know, they're getting sad and anxious as well because they don't have that interaction, that social interaction that I'm sure a lot of your followers feel the same way.
Yeah.
What I do to start off the day, and I think this is something that I've done for a long time, is I do the Miracle Morning, and it's a book by Hal Elrod, and there's 6 different steps through the morning. You can do them quickly, you can do them slowly, whatever it works for you, but it's a mindful way to start your day, because if you start the day right, then the rest of the day just follows in line. And so in the morning, it's an acronym, SAVERS. So the S stands for silence. So during that time, I would either pray or meditate, read a devotional, read something positive. The A is affirmations, pretty self-explanatory. And I can talk a little bit more about each of these. V is visualization. E is exercise. It doesn't have to be a full-blown workout. It can be just stretching and yoga just to kind of ease you into the day. It could be a couple push-ups or squats, you know, whatever gets the blood pumping.
Mm-hmm.
And then my favorite part's reading, reading something that you learn about. It's not about reading, you know, your novels or anything like that. No news, no social media, nothing like that, but actually printed material or something that makes you feel good. I've also heard a lot of people do audiobooks too during that time while they're maybe exercising. So you can combine them. And then scribing. So I like to scribe in my planner. And I also like to take that time to write things down that I'm grateful for. So, like you said, what keeps me going? I think the positive, looking for the positive and looking for things that I can be grateful for, even during these weird, uncertain, bizarre times.
Yeah.
That's been a big key. So each day, when I'm doing this scribing part, it does not have to take a long time. And it is not like a Dear Diary kind of thing either. It's not like that. But I write down kind of along the 5-minute journal guidelines. So I write 3 things I'm grateful for, 3 things that'll make my day great, and then 3 affirmations. So like I am statements. So it can be something kind of forward thinking. So, you know, yesterday, so here it is right here. I write it down in this. I don't even have a 5-minute journal. You can actually buy it, which has all the prompts in there, but this is my thing. It's just a little, I don't know, 8x6 notebook. And so, I mean, some of it, the thing is, scribing is probably the thing I thought I resisted the most. But when I look back on it, it makes me laugh so much. And my kids giggle about the stuff that I've written like years ago.
Awesome.
And things I don't remember. I mean, it's just little everyday things, right? So like yesterday, I walked in the room and my kids were all playing poker. They were learning to play poker together. They were all playing and they were all getting along. So that was like my one grateful thing, because 2 of them fight like cats and dogs. And then also our freezer door popped open and we have like so much meat in there. It looked like hazmat suits were needed in our garage. Thankfully, we all worked together to kind of clean it up and to get it to not be a major catastrophe and loss. But like I wrote that down in here, like the things that I'm grateful for. That seems really weird. And then I've been doing this I found online, because there is so many different great resources out there, but Steve Weatherford, who's a former NFL player, has a morning devotional and an exercise that he's been doing with his son. So he started this with his son alone, and then his son agreed to share that private time with his followers on Instagram. So every day at 10 Central, he does this devotional and workout thing, which I do with my kids. So I wrote down that I was grateful for Steve Weatherford's Mighty 300. So check it out if you're in need of any kind of direction there. It's awesome. So those were my 3 grateful things. Quick, easy. And when I look back on it, I know I'm going to laugh about the silly freezer incident, because that mental picture of blood all over my garage floor will always stay with me. But, you know, when you look back on it in a month, you don't remember that really. Did that happen really? You know, because I forget that stuff a lot. I mean, I think it's my older brain. But I mean, I really enjoy the scribing part of it. So the Miracle Morning is one of the big keys for setting everything up and going really great. Um, I also like to read, like I was saying. So one of the things I've also been enjoying is that, I work and I have kids, and usually they're going crazy and they have lots of sports commitments, and we're usually traveling on the weekends. So now that we're staying at home, I have a lot more free time, as I'm sure many of your listeners do too. So one of the things that I do is I've decided that I read this book called Finish, and
Yes, we love Finish.
yeah, I think he's hilarious. Also on
Hilarious.
Instagram, he has funny stuff all the time, and I'm a big fan of humor and positivity at this point. But he was at Crown Council recently, and he was talking about one of the takeaways from Crown Council that I had was write a list of all the things that are undone, half done, or holding you back because they aren't done because the motivation has leached away. And I wrote this little reminder postcard from Crown Council, and it came yesterday. And I have been doing all the things that I've needed to do, that I've had motivation leach away, the projects, the things that build up, and the corners of your room, the gathering spots, that kind of thing. And I've organized and all that. So that's been really freeing. When I walk in the house or I walk in my room and that pile of crap isn't there anymore, it really feels good. Or my office is organized, so I can actually get work done without having to scoop piles of papers and things out of the way. So that's been one of the things. I think a lot of people have done a lot of home remodeling. I think Lowe's, Home Depot, all those places are super busy right now, and that's probably because of that. But I do feel like unfinished things totally clog up the arteries of our lives. I mean,
Yes.
it blocks everything, the energy flow. And when you can get some of that thing checked off your to-do list, it's really, really nice.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
speaking of books, and I was going to ask you this at the end, but if you had to recommend one book to our high school and college students,
Yeah.
what book would you recommend?
I'm so glad I got my pile of books out. It's a toss up. So I'll say I've got, and I don't usually have books laying around, but I figured I was going to talk a little bit about this. But I love the 5-second rule. Mel Robbins.
Good.
She is one of the best speakers about just like problems that you encounter in daily life, and then being able to institute this rule. There's a lot of good tips in there, but that's the big one, is the 5-second rule.
I do love that book.
It's fast. It's a fast read too. And then the other one, gosh, I love this one. This is a guy that I follow on Instagram. Again, I don't spend my whole day on Instagram, it sounds like it, but lately maybe I'm spending a little bit more time. But Own the Day, Own Your Life is by Aubrey Marcus, and it's basically just hacks for also ways to start the day off right, but also how to eat properly, how to sleep properly, ways you work and your learning, and training. He's really big into physical fitness, obviously, and as you can tell from the picture on the front, maybe, I don't know, but it's really inspiring. I have and a lot of biohacks. I really like that. Easily applicable ways to improve and change your body, and then your mindset and your life. So that's really been helpful for not only the way that I do my exercising and the way that I eat, but also just sleep hygiene too.
Okay.
Proper sleep, getting proper, just structuring your environment basically for optimization. And that's been a really great book as well. A really easy read. He's funny. And so I think it would definitely appeal to young adults too. Sometimes some of the things he says are a little bit coarse and like in your face, and I think sometimes we need to hear that. And
absolutely.
Yeah. So that would be my book recommendations.
Great. Okay, here's our last question for you for today.
Yeah.
If you could go back to when you were a high school or college student,
mm-hmm.
what would be your advice to your future self?
Oh, I think that there's so much of my life that I have been scared to do things, and like scared to take that first step. What if I don't do it right? What if I can't get it completed? What if I do it wrong? What if somebody says, oh my God, what the hell is she doing? Just stopping the perfectionism trap and just doing it anyway, and trying to figure it out along the way. I feel like I've wasted so much time worrying about it. And then when I do just forge ahead and just take the first step and try to figure it out and totally feel uncomfortable, totally feel like I'm out of my league maybe, but fake it anyway until I just get a little bit more comfortable. When I do it that way, I feel like I've had my best successes, my best experiences, and maybe I've failed a little bit, but if I've learned and I've kept going, it makes a huge difference. And so, nobody knows you don't have it all figured out. Nobody knows that you're not going to do it just right because you're you and you have a different take on it. So if I just stop thinking about perfection and just say progress over perfectionism is
Yes.
always the key, then that would definitely be what I'd say. Just do it anyway. Just move forward. Progress is always good. The next step is always better than no step.
Absolutely. I love that. That is
Well,
great
good.
advice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dr. Kate, this has been so awesome, and I just really
I loved
appreciate you
it.
taking your time to jump on here and just kind of share some tips and tricks with us. And
My pleasure.
really, really enjoy just getting to talk to you and see your face. So,
well, you too. It's been nice to see you. And man, I look forward to seeing everybody back in the flesh sometime soon. So
I know, hopefully soon. Let's cross our fingers. So,
yeah.
okay, well, thank you so much, Dr. Kate. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet.
You have a
Have a
great
great
day.
day, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.